Okay. Hello, everybody. I would like to introduce you Ashley Teer. Ashley is spiritual medium, clinical hypnotherapist. Yeah, okay. Hello, I'm right now starting the interview, babe. Thank you. Hey, Ashley. Hello. Hi. Now I can connect.
Hi.
Hello. You look beautiful. Wait,
Oh.
I cannot hear you.
Oh.
Oh.
Yes, at the bottom at the side. So I was going to ask, did you want it long this way, like horizontal, or did you want it vertical? What way's better? What looks better? I don't know.
This is cool. This is cool. Yeah, like this. Yeah, I knew you are going to have great makeup.
Yeah. I love it. I love the makeup.
Yes,
You look beautiful also.
I just use the mascara because when I get more, I start whatever I put here, it's become, because I have small eyes. So basically nobody can see until I close them. You know, though.
Well, you look like a model, Anna, for sure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I like, I was exercising this morning. I like exercising. It keeps me like healthy, and also I feel like my mood is better. Anyways, so I took a risk and I went for a run, but finally I made it because I was worried I'm going to be a little late. Okay, so basically we can start in a few minutes. If you have a glass of tea or something,
yeah,
would be great to.
Glass of water here.
I like your ideas. I was thinking what the best question I could do. So I thought it's good to make the question, what is hypnotherapy? Because so many people never try in their life, including myself. I've never had hypnotherapy. And why it actually is beneficial, right? to
Yeah.
do hypnotherapy if you never, if it is never too late, right?
Yeah.
And actually I thought maybe if there is any task we can do on ourselves, like a self-healing exercise, which we can help ourselves each day working on ourselves, if there is anything. And then it came to my mind the idea about the meditation. So I sent you the message. I thought maybe you will be open for something like that. And
Yeah.
then I will ask how people can find you, like on Instagram, Facebook, Connect, and so they can directly go to you and your website. And yeah, and I think, did you had any another idea, something you would like to share, or?
Well, it was just about, you know, the angel cards. I would
Mhm.
shuffle them and I would ask you, Anna, when to stop. So I would say, so you tell me when to stop. And then I would pick a card and just read a bit of inspiration author, a bit of the energy, so to speak, of the group and what they would need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't know, I can just share wee bits. You can, if you want to ask me any questions. I'm also passionate about, you know, the other business venture I'm in, which is Cash FX, which gives people the the chance to, you know, have financial freedom. So there's all of these things that we can chat about, but I'm open for whatever you want to ask me, the cards, the meditation, and yeah, anything anybody else wants to ask.
Right. Awesome. So I think it's important to say about that financial thing, because of some women who are right now struggling.
Yeah.
So what was the name? It was Cash.
Cash
Impact.
F.
Okay, I will make a quick. Also, maybe at the beginning, I could ask what made you to choose the hypnotherapy be your major, like maybe. So somebody could relate also that you transform your past into a flower right now. So maybe if you want, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, I will introduce you as a spiritual medium, clinical hypnotherapist, consultant, mentor. I have written down, I was memorizing everything. Okay, but yeah. Okay, well, the universe is with us.
Indeed.
Okay, I will try to connect more Facebook Live. You ready to start?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, perfect. I will put live on sharing group, but I love him. Next. Preparing live streaming preview. 1 second. Thank you for what you are doing. Thank you, Ashley, for your good intention, and thank you for saving so many people by sharing your stories. I really appreciate that. Go live. And now go live. Okay, we are live on Facebook, I think. That's what shows me here. So let me check if we are live on Facebook, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Can you see Ashley Facebook? Can you see that we are live on Facebook, Ashley?
Oh, you want me to check? Yeah. 2 weeks.
Well, no, it's okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to be sure because it shows that I am. I just want to be sure that everybody can see us.
Yes.
Awesome. We are okay. Cool. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for being in this group where each woman support each another woman. And I'm grateful that you pursue this journey of beautiful. It would be. We are happy that we have therapy coaches like Ashley. Ashley is a spiritual medium, clinical. She is consultant, medium, healer of negative beliefs. Was able to find a way to finally be independent and help others. Today, we are going to talk about self-healing, hypnotherapy, and how hypnotherapy can help to release the trauma from our life. Ashley, it's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome back from Ireland in the house. Hello.
What a wonderful introduction. So really the focus, Anna, isn't it, this evening? Well, it may be another time zone for you, but for me it's this evening, in regards to clinical hypnotherapy and how that stands for really healing yourself of negative self-beliefs. So I'll just touch on a little bit of my story. I have been through multiple domestic violence situations in my life from the age of 15 up to somewhere in the 20s there, but a good portion of my life, mid-20s, and until I was able to heal myself with personal development, clinical hypnotherapy, and really the spirituality and spiritual aspect. And then I've been able to really build myself up to transform from a completely different person to who I am today. So I'll start a little bit in regards to, because what I'm going to share, it incorporates everybody, that it's really, the bit I want to start with is childhood. So I came from a very negative childhood. I was neglected, abused. My mother has rapid cycle bipolar, and my father moved out when I was 3 years old. So me and my siblings grew up neglected and bullied and all of that, really, really traumatic childhood. And what I have realized now, as I've moved through my life and been able to heal certain aspects of me, is that the childhood is where it stemmed. And that was a real revelation for me. I didn't understand that the trauma from childhood affected you when you're older. I didn't understand that. And what I want to, it started off, I also work at a nursery school. I work with children amongst all the other things that I do. And we went for some training, and the training was to do for looking out for trauma and abuse. And what I learned was that between the ages of 0, 7, and also in my clinical hypnotherapy training, the ages of 0, 7 for a child are called the imprinting stage. And what that means is that's why children are so emotional. They're very feeling, if the littlest thing happens, they, it's a big deal for them emotionally because they're running on just their emotions. It's more like the feeling brainwave state. They're in, it's not, there's the alpha brainwave state is where we are, it's the conscious mind, and they're in the subconscious mind. They're in that they're in the alpha delta state. Okay, so they're just running around and they're like sponges. They're absorbing everything of their environment, and they're taking it all in. So anyway, obviously from my childhood, very damaged, low self-worth, low self-esteem. For me, and there was suicide attempts there when I was very young, 9 years old, 15 years old. And it was because I couldn't cope with the trauma that was in my childhood. For me, looking back now, it's not a surprise to me that I got into these abusive relationships, power, control, jealousy, insecurity, and all the things that went on, is because I felt so bad and so negative about myself that I didn't really care what happened to me, for want of a better expression. But as I moved my way through my life, and as the spiritual aspect grew within me, I've shared, Anna, before about the first sort of experience I had. I'll not go into it here. We went into it fully in a previous recording. I heard a voice that spoke to me and told me how to get out of a very, very dangerous situation. And from there, my spirituality grew, and it was about me beginning to connect to things that were more healthy for me, emotionally, mentally, physically. And about then, from those moments forward, about me beginning to work on myself, personal development. I trained as a counselor for a year as well, and really just seeing how the past affected me and what I could do about it. So is there anything else you want me to go into there, Anna?
Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for taking part also in this documentary. I forgot to mention, but you are one of women who are sharing their survivor stories. So that's amazing that you allow the universe use your story to change another, transform another woman's, inspire myself also through. So I'm very grateful, and thank you for sharing that the childhood, especially the age between 0-7, affects us so much when it comes to our self-esteem and the relationship we have with ourselves. It's basically created in that stage. And it's also possible is it possible to affect, to change what we learn through the age 0-7, our beliefs and our self-esteem? Is there any self-healing methods we can use, or another ways to basically feel again abandoned and complete as we are as little babies?
Absolutely. And I'll go through there is multiple things. I'll list off a few, and then I will let you know what I specialize in. So
Thank you.
there is so many different things that you can do. It's about us as adults. We are going on that negative, those patterns and those programs from childhood. One for me, for example, I was very jealous and insecure in my relationships, and also the person I was with, they were jealous and insecure, and these both together were a disaster. Now, that was from when my dad left when I was 3 years old. You know, all those feelings of abandonment, I'm not good enough, nobody wants me, all of these things. And then this person comes along who you feel fits and gives you that attention, that, you know, shows you care, and also then the darker side of all of that. You know, it's like you need something and they fill that gap, but then filling that gap isn't always what's good for you. But the things that we can do to change that, I've had to do a lot of self-work and a lot of change a lot of these patterns and negative self-beliefs. And there's multiple ways you can do it. You can go to counseling, you can have healing, you can have spiritual healing, you can, you know, well, the thing that I specialize in is clinical hypnotherapy. And what that does is, if a person is feeling really negative or in this downward pattern or really low self-esteem, we can work on where that started, where that pattern started. So for example, if I'm very jealous and I'm insecure in my relationship or any of these things, then I would, as a clinical hypnotherapist, build that feeling within them through, you know, relax them down, take them into a lower brainwave frequency, a more relaxed, it's like a relaxed waking state. And I would work to bring them back. And it always, if the hypnotherapy is done right, goes to below the age of 7. In fact, I'll share a personal story. I work, amongst all the other things that I do in events and whatever, I work in a nursery school as well, because I love children. I really love children. It's just part-time. And the parents buy you presents, you know, at Christmas or at the end of the year. And this one particular parent, she came in and she bought, I work with another teacher and a classroom assistant, and she bought the teacher a present and she bought the other lady a present, but she distinctly did not buy me one. Now, I am a grown adult, okay? And I should be able to take that and it's okay. But it really, really hurt my feelings. Not for the fact that it was a bottle of wine. It wasn't about the wine. It was for the fact that I perceived that she rejected me. She rejected me. And the feelings that I had around that were so strong. And I had to go and sit down. So when moments like this happen, I have to check in with myself. And I went to a park and I sat in the park and I said to myself, why is this upsetting me so much? Why is this situation that happened? Why is my response so disproportionate? Why am I feeling all these horrible feelings of being rejected, abandoned, insecure? Why? Why is this happening? And it's because of my childhood. It's because my father walked out, left the family and raised another family. And it's not as if I just feel rejected by that lady in that moment. That's not how it works. What happens is it brings up all the hurt and the wounds from the past that are still there, that still affect you. So as my life goes on, I really have to check in. There's another little, that's even a little tip, I would say. If something is really hurting you, really affecting you, and it seems like a small thing, it has its core somewhere else. It has its roots somewhere else. So it's about the awareness. When these moments happen, you have to catch it, right? So that's things like that as I go on. With myself, I had to really work on, you know, other people's perception of me. If people didn't like me, it would really hurt me, taking things personally, all of this. But mostly what I would say is, for example, ladies who may be in an abusive relationship or have been or have left one, is that they feel not good enough, low self-esteem, unworthy. Now, these are the things that need to be worked on. Because if you felt worthy and good enough, this is what I noticed through my personal experience. If you feel good enough and worthy, you are not going to accept the abuse that you're living through. You're not going to accept that. You're going to believe that you're worth more and that you have a life away from this person. There's all things to do with codependency and, oh, I need the other person, or nobody's going to want me. Or they might even say that. They might say nobody's going to want you, you're damaged, all this stuff that I heard before. But that's simply not true. And what we need to work on, Anna, is building the ladies up to become strong and break them out of the patterns from the past, the chains of the past that are keeping them stuck, because there is ways forward. I also, specifically to me, I also have another healing modality of the mind called sovereign alchemy. And it's about exactly working on that, healing those negative self-beliefs through spirituality. So I do both things. It really depends on what the person needs. You know, there's a thing, there's a process called anger release forgiveness. And I went through this process, and anger release forgiveness, I would take you through a situation when you're in clinical hypnotherapy, where you get to say everything you've ever wanted to say to the person. It doesn't matter if they're passed away, if they're alive, if they're your ex, if they're in the past, but you get to go and say, do, shout, do whatever in your mind. And the thing is, when you're in a lower brainwave frequency, when you're in the subconscious mind, when you're in the alpha brainwave frequency, your body believes that you have done this in real life. And I know it sounds a bit odd, but your subconscious mind is always listening, and it doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is not. And I actually take my clients through a wee process where I'll say something like, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine you're going in. Well, here, if anybody wants to do it, we can do it. It only takes about 30 seconds. We can do it now. And notice, if you do this, you will notice that your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what's real and what's not. And here we go, right? Just invite you, if you wish, to close your eyes. And I want you to imagine you're in your own kitchen. And I want you to imagine you can see your fridge, your own fridge. And I want you to, in your mind, walk up to that fridge. And I want you to open it up and notice that there is a lemon, a big, juicy, yellow lemon. I want you to take that out of the fridge. I want you to go and set it on the counter. And I want you to cut it in half. Cut, cut, cut. And I want you to cut it in your mind. Cut, cut, cut. And what I want you to do now is I want you to lift up that piece of lemon and I want you to bite into it, a big bite, and the juice is squirting and it's so bitter and tangy, and you can feel your mouth and your taste buds react to that. And I invite you to open up your eyes now. And we'll use yourself as an example, Anna. What did you notice about that? Let's say, did you taste the lemon? Did you see a lemon? Did you smell the lemon? What was your experience?
So I basically get so much saliva in my mouth. Saliva, right?
Yeah.
Because of, I imagine the juice and I imagine the juicy lemon cutting and then the juice coming from the lemon when I cut, and then my fingers, the juice, and then putting to my mouth and sour. And it makes me kind of, I had dry lips when I talk with you because of I'm a little nervous. So I get dehydrated in my mouth. So now I feel better.
Right. So Anna.
Yeah. So that's amazing exercise you can practice.
Yeah, you can do it really simply. But what that proves is, Anna, we're not in your kitchen and there's no lemon here. But when you close your eyes, your subconscious mind is reacting the same way as if that was done, right? As if there was a lemon there. So what I want to say about that is it's the same when you are in a session with me. Your subconscious and the other levels of your mind believe that we're doing this for real. So that's why the real change work can come in. And I also work with the superconscious mind. That's a whole different story, but it's the spiritual aspect as well. So yeah, there's loads that can be done. But the main thing I would like to say is we need to work on the ladies and men. You know, it isn't just obviously exclusively female. We need to work on feeling better in ourselves first, so as we are stronger to make empowered choices.
Yeah, it's amazing how we can use the power of our subconscious mind as the force to help us or as a force to stop us, to have miserable life, because of we believe that those beliefs at the early stage, it's going to be the truth for the rest of our life, which is in my case, I will be never here. I will probably, I had like a few suicidal trials as well because of the depression. And I basically start to deep into because they were so destructive, and I was desperate to find out what is in me that is why I have so many destructive mechanisms, what happened in the early stage, why I'm suffering without really logical reason, which is happening right now. So I totally relate. We have also Josie with us. Is Josie Join? I just wanted to welcome and acknowledge that Josie is here. Hello, Josie. Oh, okay. Well, Josie is with us.
Hello, Anna.
And hey.
Hello. I'm
Hello.
sorry. I was
late. It's
Hello.
all good. I mean, did you see the? Did you practice the exercise with the lemon? How do you feel?
Yes. It was surreal. when she's like telling you what to do, it's like I can just imagine, even I'm not doing it. It's just like I'm imagining, like I was in my room, but I was in the kitchen, you know. So it's surreal. Like, so also what I noticed is like she's telling us to do. So if what I'm getting is not actually the lemon, it's just like subconscious. If someone like tell you what to do, you can, your body and your mind just like follow, you know. So it's like you're alert,
Right.
and just like,
Mm.
yeah, you just like move, like you just move. It's just like you're walking, and I was in the kitchen like doing the lemon, and I was like, what the hell, she just, there's, it's not real, but it's surreal. So yeah, that's cool.
Right. And I just relate how many times I start to, when I was a little child, I will be ruminating kind of on events which happen in our home when my stepfather was, you know, alcoholic, and there was a lot of arguments and abuse, and I was believing everything is happening because of this is my fault, and I was feeling really guilty that I am the reason. Like you said, I was absorbing the environment, and I was talking to myself those talks, that it is me who is the who needs to change because of the yeah. So it's kind of the innocence of a child,
Yes.
and not awareness about which kind of beliefs can serve you. It can be really dangerous, kind like directing your path, your yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I also would like to ask you how the subconscious mind is related to our dreams. Like, um, is it nightmares? How the nightmares are created? Why do we have sometimes so bad quality of sleep? Is there those very early beliefs from our childhood which kind of keep us in the time when we are sleeping, the brain is acting on really low frequency, right? And
Yeah.
it's the same thing when we have hypnotherapy.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And one thing I would say, Anna, is with hypnotherapy, clinical hypnotherapy, there's a lot of misconceptions. You are not asleep. You're very awake and alert. And what I mean by that, your body is relaxed, but your mind is 200 to 300 times more aware. Just with the exercises and the processes I use to get you into that brainwave state, because it's actually a super learning state. It is the brain state frequency from beta alpha the children are in. That's why children can learn languages so quickly and easily, because they have to. You know, that's what way they're built, to really absorb everything. And that's why clinical hypnotherapy can really make change possible very powerfully and very quickly. Now, it may be 3 sessions, it may be more, it may be less. It really depends on the person and the issues and the patterns. But as you were speaking there about nightmares and dreams, now, if you are in situations where there's stuff going on in your life, for example, if you are in an abusive relationship, or if you're in a workplace where you feel bullied or humiliated, whatever it may be, these types of people tend to have lots of nightmares. And the reason is they suppress everything, they hold it in, they bottle it up, and they can't deal with it in the conscious mind, in the beta brainwave frequency. So when they go to sleep at night, that's when all this emotional trauma and baggage comes up, because your mind needs to find some way to recycle that. That's one of the aspects. Another aspect is it's very spiritual processes. If you have a fear, or if you have something that's wrong in your life that you're not dealing with, it will manifest as a nightmare. You know, I have some psychedelic nightmares, but I'm very, very strong and I know how to handle those. But for your average person, if you are not empowered in your life, if you feel bad about yourself, if there's situations going on around you where you feel trapped, then these people tend to have a lot more nightmares.
Is there any way we can help ourselves having nightmares? Like 2 days ago, I had really bad nightmare, and I woke up and I was like super tired, like not because of I was, you know, remembering the nightmare.
There's loads. I'll give you just some wee tips that are popping into my mind. So there is one option where you could journal it. So journaling, writing it all down, getting yourself a book and writing down those feelings and emotions. It's as if you're pouring, even if you kind of set the intention that you're pouring all of your bad feelings into this book, pouring them down, letting it come out, right? You can also, this is a really quick tip, if you're having a shower, if you're having a bath, this is a more of a spiritual tip. You can imagine or pretend, because the point is here, your subconscious and superconscious mind doesn't know the difference anyway. You can pretend, say you're in the shower and the water's beating down on you. You can set the intention, this is, you know, golden light. This is washing away all of my troubles and my fears. I feel refreshed. I feel rejuvenated. I feel ready for my day. And just really step into that role, really take on like an actor, you know, stepping into a part. Your subconscious mind will get on par and will get on board with that if you practice that. So there's two. Another one is affirmation. You can look in the mirror and you can say some affirmations, but what I would definitely even put in there is if you put the feeling and emotion behind it. Now, people who have low self-esteem and don't feel good about themselves, they feel like a fraud standing in the mirror saying, I feel strong, I feel empowered. But if that's too difficult for you to do, what you can imagine or pretend is that you can set yourself like a little mini movie in your mind, a bit like the one that we did, and you can, because sometimes it feels, some people feel so bad about themselves, it feels so uncomfortable in their body to do it. So you can imagine if you're okay with that, imagine yourself, say, being empowered or going to work or giving a presentation, whatever it is. If you can do that, you know, in your own body, do that. But a little trick would be, if that feels too uncomfortable, just have a little mini movie in your mind and just imagine seeing yourself do it. So you might imagine seeing yourself, so it's kind of a little bit separate and it might feel a bit more comfortable. It just depends where the person is, that, oh, I see myself going into work today and speaking clearly to my colleagues, and I feel really strong and I feel connected. So you can either do it and embody those feelings, or you can do it, seeing yourself do it in your mind. So all of those, you know, the journaling, the washing away your worries, the affirmation, the in the mirror work, or the mini movie in your mind. There's loads you can do.
Amazing. Thank you for giving us so powerful tools to touch, to affect our subconscious mind, because we have some power, as you can, as you said. So I would like to, before we come to the a little surprise from you, I would like to ask you if would you like to add any advantage of starting hypnotherapy, if you never start, even if you never had any hypnotherapy session in your life, why and how it can help you if you went through abusive relationship, if you went through trauma, if there is anything more than rewiring our belief system?
Yeah. So as I said, there's multiple other different modalities and things that you can do, but we're going to specifically talk here about clinical hypnotherapy. It can, you know, there's, you know, and I found this quite interesting. When I was training to be a clinical hypnotherapist, you know, it says, what are people's worst fears? Or, you know, what is the thing that people are most scared of? And some people would think it might be death, or it might be this or that, but actually the number one fear that people have is public speaking. Public speaking. And if you think about that, why is that? Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, you know, fear of being ridiculed, fear of being rejected by the social group, all of these things, right? So that's the number one fear. And say, for example, I had a client in and I was working with them. It's like a little bit like that, you know, going through your mind movies, that I would imagine them, you know, tell them, well, imagine yourself standing up and going, and you're going up in front of a crowd and you're standing up in front of people and you're giving this presentation, you're looking people in the eyes, feel how empowered and, you know, well received you're going from point to point. And so what I would do is, depending on the person and their needs, I would run them through that maybe 2, 3, 4 times, but I would also create them a script. Okay, so what I'll explain about that is, say a person is wanting to go and do a presentation for work, or say they have an exam, or say they have like a test, whatever it may be, but they're very nervous and they don't feel like they can do it. We can work with all of those emotions. Even I'll just quickly go, say somebody's very nervous and I have an exam coming up and I'm feeling all, having anxiety about it. We can, through the process of hypnotherapy, through the processes and exercises, we can go back to a memory from the age of 0-7. We reframe the memory so that it feels good. This is where the root is. It's like pulling out the roots. And when we change this, then it changes how you feel. So then I would speak to the person, and by the end of it, I would say, are you feeling any anxiety about that test or whatever? And they would say, no, I feel good. I feel different. So the transformation is very powerful, and it's like change work coming very, very quickly, whether it be 3 sessions, 2, 4, whatever it may be. But the change, you can sort of really absolutely change who you are as a person and how you feel, if you're willing to listen and obviously go through the process, which people are. So with the clinical hypnotherapy, it really, for me, we need to work on how we feel about ourselves. We need to work on what's our goals in life. What do you want? And that's a bit I wanted to put in about the script. I would say to a person, what do you want in your life? How do you want to feel in your relationships? How do you want to be financially? What do you want? What do you want for your future? And then I would create a script. And when people are in the brainwave frequency alpha and delta, these deeper brainwave frequencies, I can tell their subconscious mind all the script, everything they want for themselves, and then I record it and I send it to them, and they can listen to that over and put a bit of background music over and over again. And what that does is the change work is done, and also I give them a recording as sort of a bonus, and they can go and listen to that over and over again, a bit like the mirror work. If they're finding all that too difficult, they can listen to their script and they can stand in front of the mirror and they can listen and they can go through the process again, build those emotions. Because if you're changing emotionally how you feel, then your reality begins to change. And, when I did all this work on myself, people, friends, family, everything, life became smoother. Things just worked. There was so much flow. So really, that's the wee things I want to say about clinical hypnotherapy. Very, very powerful process. And it's just a blessing that people trust me enough to tell me their issues, and I work with them to really put in powerful, lasting change.
That's cool. So, how can you practice hypno when you're just by yourself? I'm just curious.
Yeah, well, absolutely. So you can go anywhere online. You can go to YouTube. There's lots of free hypnotherapy, sessions, well, not sessions, but hypnotherapy pieces out there. And what the kind of tip is, you would really need to put the emotion in. If you can move forward, putting in the emotion, that really is working on a deeper layer of yourself. So some people are happy with that and they get really good change work. And other people feel like they might need a guide. So that's where I come in. But it's definitely like self-hypnosis and hypnosis off YouTube is absolutely doable. So that's another option.
That's good. So is that a gift, like for you? Is that like something, a gift for you that you can do it to someone, or you have to practice that, like study that for so long?
Well, for me, I feel like because I have years experience as a spiritual medium and a psychic, I have had years of working with people, working with groups, sitting and speaking to people, hearing people's like deepest, darkest secrets, because that's what I do. So I had about 5 or 6 years of that behind me. And then I got into clinical hypnotherapy absolutely by accident. My main love and my joy is being a spiritual medium, a psychic medium, amongst the other things, inspiration. But I'll give you a really, really quick story. I didn't ever want to be a clinical hypnotherapist, didn't know anything about it, but I won tickets to an event. I won them. You know, there was an event, It's Your Best Year Yet. And from there, I invited my brother. So me and him went, and he from there won tickets to go down and get a weekend of free clinical hypnotherapy training. So he invited me, and we went down, and it blew our mind. We traveled to Dublin, and we just said, we're going to do this, aren't we? And he went, yeah. This is what I mean. When you get in tune with yourself and your needs, and you get balance, universe just gives you gifts like that. It'll be, I won tickets, and then my brother won free hypnotherapy training at the event. So I won, he won. It's universe going, this is what you need to do next. So it's another thing that I can offer people amongst the others. But there was so much growth and development that I got for myself through the process, because you get a lot of hypnotherapy because you're practicing. So for me, I kind of had a head start because I had experience with people in a different area first.
Yeah, I just asked that because, like, I noticed ever since to myself, like, I have this weird, like, I don't think it's a gift. Like, I refuse to not have it, but every time, or maybe because I just believe it, I don't know, but you probably can explain this, but I don't know. I can just, I have the sense with people, like I can feel it. And then like, you know, like you can read their mind, you know what I mean? But I don't like it because, you know, it's like, it makes me feel like a responsibility. Like, I feel like I have that responsibility to explain to them, like, okay, that is not good. Or like for example, this is very deep because every time, like, I have fear of every time I dream of a snake. I'm always scared because someone that I know is gonna die. Like, even not related to me, but I just know them. I meet them, and like, let's see, the last one, Mother's Day, last May. So it's not like all the time. It's not like happening to me all the time, but it's so rare. But like the last time Mother's Day, we went walking with my friend, and of all people that hike on the hiking trail, I'm the only one that's like, my friend walked in front of me and she never see the snake. And I was behind her, and I was stumble and like screaming because there is a snake in my feet. Like, I was like, okay, go past. Why? Like, and she was like, you know, ready to bite me. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, and my friend can understand why I'm so scared, but that's the thing that I'm scared of. And I don't like explain that to my friend because they don't get it and they don't understand. But every time I see a snake, someone that I know gonna die. And yep, 3 days after, I heard
Somebody passed
and
away.
they passed away.
So
But
Josie,
I don't know.
what I would say about that is we are all connected. We are all connected. And sometimes you do pick things up. But one main thing I would say, for example, with me and what way I would work, because I've worked extensively I went and trained in the Arthur Findlay College, and it's like Hogwarts. There's an actual college you go and train to be a spiritual medium in England, Stansted. And there's a big thing about exactly that, ethics and responsibility. So you would never, well, you know, I sort of go on the essence of do not do anybody any harm, or do not cause them any distress. So obviously I wouldn't share those things. Now, it might not be a pleasant thing for you to be aware of, but what you can ask your higher power, your higher self, your guides is, I don't like that. I don't like that awareness. It causes me distress. I don't want in the future, because at the end of the day, we are all powerful beings, and you can ask for that. Now, another thing, just as a side note, is I very much have a belief, because I've had, you know, dealings and training with shamanism and worked under a shaman and things. And if I was you, if you see an animal, if you have any sort of feelings, look up the animal. There, for example, for you, look up snake spirit animal, and it has a message for you. check it out, but it'll be a message that's relevant for your life at that time, or it'll have some qualities or some strengths that you need at that time. So you can change that from being something quite negative to flipping that on its head. And I know that the snake represents, from what I remember, stuff to do with wisdom and knowledge and things like that. So you can change that from being quite unpleasant to a very empowering. So that's what I would say about that, Josie.
Yeah, because in where I came from in Philippines, if you dream a snake, people like they have their superstitious belief that it's represent death or unborn, like either someone died or someone is born. And that's why I think the reason I have that fear, because that's what I know.
Because you have that awareness and that one from your culture as well. So there's a very easy way. If it does make you uncomfortable, ask them to not give you that awareness around that specific issue. You don't want to know about. I'll give an example. You know, I've given readings before. I've had feelings where I've known things, but I have not passed that on, because if I tell somebody something that is going to worry or distress them, that's not uplifting, that's not joyous, that's not, you know, I'm here to uplift and reassure and empower people. I'm not there to make them feel worse. So sometimes we can't help what we know or how we feel, but there's, you always have the choice to say, there's like, you're working with a team, basically the awareness of the spiritual realm, and just say, I don't want to know that anymore. Or if you feel stronger in the future, just look into your spirit animals, and you should begin to look at it differently. So yeah, thank you for the question.
Thank you. It's different, weird topic this morning.
Yeah. It's far out there, but I'm good because I'm into it all. The more out there, the better for me.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's good that we have you here, because not everyone like understand what you're practicing. Like if you are speaking like a bunch of, or like from Philippines, they're not really like we don't really most people, we don't really like believe on psychic or hypnotherapies. Like they actually like say like it's from demons, which is, for me, like me experiencing that, I don't believe it's something like it's your gift, that's why I asked you if that's a gift or something that you practice for a while. But there's also people like understand and believe that.
yeah, and thank you for bringing that up, Josie. What I would say is, there is so much fear around spirituality, psychic, mediumship, and it's your connection to the divine. It's, for me, it's a connection to God and the light, and that's very much what I work with, because I'm all about building people up and uplifting people and healing them. I've never had any negative experience, anything to do with fear, demons, none of that stuff. But I know there's fear and misconceptions around it for a reason. You know, you watch a scary movie, and I'm not surprised why people don't want to go near a psychic medium or a hypnotherapist. I understand. But the people that do take that step, their lives can really change for the better. So that's what.
Right. Yeah. Well, thank you, Ashley, and thank you, Joy, for your question. And I think that we are spiritual beings, so there is magic, there is energy, and it is even proved by science. So I think I can relate to Joy also because of I raised in this Catholic family. So I like anything like psychic was evil coming from the devil. So we never really, well, I had like exorcism even when I was like 12 because of my family belief I had some bad spirits. So anyways, and I was like, let's free myself from any evil spirits. So I was rebuking everything. Anyways, I have a question from Thomas. Before I'm going to ask the question from Thomas, which I see on Facebook, I want to say, Barbara, hello, Barbara. Hi. Thank you for being with us on live. are you enjoying the interview with Ashley? Do you have any questions or? Yeah.
No, not yet. I think like I was like half an hour late. I'm sorry. So actually, I don't know what's the topic, but anyway, this is the second time I'm actually on the webinar with the psychic people, and I also think like I have also this gift, but I think it's just like at the stage at the very beginner stage, but I think like it will come, something will open up, and the gifts will come up, and also deeper understanding. And I think it just comes like when you do work on yourself, it's just like automatically, it's just like you have like higher awareness, which is actually not only of yourself but of everyone, like because we are connected.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Another wee bit that I would, which makes me a wee bit more unique than say your average clinical hypnotherapist is, I also offer at the end of my session, clinical hypnotherapy session, I say, if the person's open, and to be honest, nobody's ever said no. And I say, look, I'm going to offer you a chance to meet, basically get a message of the universe, meet a spirit guide, meet a loved one in spirit. We have to be very open. We can't really say what's going to happen. But what I do is I invite them to, make their way through a forest and make their way to a beautiful building, go into the building, and you're going to go into a room. And in this room, you're going to receive a message that you need for yourself at this time. So some of the things that have happened is people will meet a spirit guide, their higher self. They will get just a message. They will get a wonderful feeling. You can't really pin down what's going to happen, but then they come out of it with some kind of higher awareness, because the intention is set that they're going to connect to their superconscious mind. And, it can be emotional for people, or they'll be like, I was working with one particular guy and he was blown away by, he met a spirit guide and she was Egyptian. And she, he got me, he said, I can't draw, could you sketch down, usually people write down their experience, and he got me to do a quick sketch. And he goes, that looks exactly like her. And he was really, for him, he felt like their connection, because he didn't really have any awareness of that. And then that day he had that connection. And he said, I believe this because I've never seen that woman's face ever in my life, not on TV, not a person. She was a spirit guide, and she had some really wonderful things to say to him. So that's why mine is a bit different, because I sort of mix all my modalities together to tailor it to the person and their specific needs. So that, and the spirituality, I think it's a beautiful thing if people can connect to that for themselves.
Yeah, I like that. Highly awareness. I think that's what it is. So probably now I have the understanding for myself. That's probably what it is. I have like, I'm very observant. So I'm so aware around me. So that's probably like what's going on. Like, and when I speak to people, like English is my second language. So when I talk to people, I look to their eyes. So that's probably like we're connected. So I connect with them. That's why I kind of like sense what's in their mind. So it's probably next. Thank you. Now I'm kind of like have a clear mind.
Yeah. And I also want to emphasize what Barbara said, that we are all connected. So there's this universe speaking through us when we allow to use us, right? Through affirmation, through prayers. So each time, like you, Barbara, said, we are when we are working on ourselves, on changing beliefs, the all personal growth open us, right, to receive and be the awakening enlightenment process starts within, right? And the more we allow and we open our soul universe, then the more we actually spiritually relate to us, sometimes speak out, right? Like by intuition and being more based on our heart, not just heads, right? So it's a great point. And Thomas is asking how to do like as if you are in depressed state and you go into hypnotherapy, you actually end up losing touch with reality, and it's becoming more or less a nightmare, and you can't get out of it. So and then my problem is dragging, no, my problem, he's asking how to don't lose yourself in the state of hypnotherapy. If you go too deep, how to get out of the hypnotherapy state. That's
Yes, and I understand the question because
let me know in the comments. Should I repeat? Yeah. Okay.
well, I'll say to you what I feel like you were sharing there with this question is people think if I get so hypnotized or if I get so deep, I'm not going to be able to get out of it again, or I'm not going to be able to awaken. Would we feel like that's what he was asking, Anna?
Right. I think so. Yes, that's what I understood too.
Yes. So it is a very common question. The only thing that people have to compare this with is what you've seen on television. And to be honest, it's very misleading. Okay. So at the end of the day, I do not have the ultimate power and control over you. You have that. So if at any point you wish to snap out of it, to open your eyes, and the thing that is what I would like to say about the brainwave frequency state is alpha. Okay. You are in hyper aware state. You're in a super learning state. And that's why the change can happen so quickly and so deeply. So there is nobody that has the ultimate power and control over you. You have that, and you are not asleep. People think they go on or hypnotize and fall asleep for 20 minutes and then wake up. It does not work like that. You know what's happening every step of the way. A bit like when we did the lemon. You know, you're very aware that in your mind, I'm walking to my kitchen, I see the fridge, there's a lemon, I pick it up. I'm talking to you the whole time. You're having an experience, okay? There's never moments of just, I'm dead asleep here. That doesn't happen. So it's a bit like what I was saying there. And the thing I would like to pick up in what you were saying, Anna, about, Anna and Barbara, I think it was, about any work that we do sort of empowers us and you know, but you know, it makes us feel better, personal development, whatever it may be. So I believe that we are all connected. We're all born with the light. And some people go through so many experiences in childhood and their adult life that basically it like darkens or dims their light. But you can always take those like layers that are over you, making you, you know, small and dim your light. But you can work, it's the personal work, whether it be personal development, whether it be counseling, whether it be hypnotherapy, whether it be spiritual healing. Any of those will empower you and build your light because you're building yourself as a person. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And I just see we are running out of time. So anybody want to add or make any question before we start the surprise from Ashley?
I'm good. Thank you, Ashley.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you, ladies. If there's anything else you want to ask Anna, or I can get on to the next bit, the fun bit.
Go ahead, and I'm grateful. I hope, Thomas, we reply your question. If not, I also connect you with Ashley, so you can start your journey with Ashley. So yeah, there is only time we have right now. So for more, Ashley will connect with you guys also. Thank you.
Lovely. So what I'm going to do is, because I just want to demonstrate sort of where I came from, very dysfunctional, traumatic childhood. I couldn't speak to people. I was so, felt so bad about myself, low self-esteem. And the years of work I've done on myself, personal development, spirituality, clinical hypnotherapy, has enabled me to go out and speak in front of crowds and do Facebook Lives and take spiritual addresses in spiritual centres around Ireland. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to demonstrate the power of just getting into the flow and having that natural confidence. So what I'm going to do is I am going to shuffle these cards now in real time. Anna is going to tell me to stop, and then I'm going to give just a bit of inspiration and a bit of reading of the card for just the general energy of the group, or what just somebody in the group needs to hear, right? So this is completely offhand. I'm going to shuffle and you're going to watch me, and then Anna's going to tell me when to stop, and I will show the cards. I should show you I'm shuffling them, shouldn't I? So anytime you feel the inspiration, Anna, you just say, stop.
Stop.
Oh, do you know what? See, because that's happened, we're going to need 2. So we're going to, right? So
Okay, Joe, you go ahead. You say stop.
Me?
Oh, no, yeah.
That's perfect. I mean, I need the 2. Oh, and do you know what's so funny, right? So we have the 2 of autumn, right? The 2 of autumn. This lady looks a bit like you, Josie. You watch this back, I'm telling you. Right? And then we have the 10 of autumn. So the 2 of autumn here, if I'm looking at this card, okay, and I have a look, I'm looking, you know what, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect for this group, right? So I have these 2, one after. This is showing a lady. Let me get it so you can see it, right? And she is spinning a lot of plates. There's a lot of plates around her head. So to me, this is somebody who's overthinking. I have a lot on my mind. I have all these issues and troubles. You know, she's kind of standing on a leaf here, and that leaf can be pulled out from under her at any time. So it just shows me all of these different aspects of things that have went on. And this lady is juggling. She's juggling her life. She's juggling all these worries, concerns, these stresses. And so the next card's the progression then, obviously. So what I would say to this lady is then she would, and for the mind, if ever I'm connected to her who needs to hear the message, is to believe and know that you can move out of this pattern. You can break out of these cycles. If you look, it's all circles, cycles, cycles, all spinning round and round in her head, okay? She looks unsure in this picture. She can't see a way out. So we're moving to the next one. And if you look there, okay, and I'll put it closer in a wee minute. I'll just read it first. This is the 10 of autumn, and funny, we're in autumn at the minute, obviously. There's lots of golden pears in this card up and around the tops of these trees, and that's all about building prosperity, planning for the future, making better choices, you know, planting the seeds and watching them grow. And there is a lady and a man, and they're sort of sitting, and there's a boy and a girl. And this card always indicates to do with happy home life, being settled. The card that takes, funnily enough, and I will speak about this next, take steps to ensure the financial security of your children and loved ones. Right. So if we're going here, I'm spinning my plates, I'm worried and concerned. A lot of people are worried about money at the minute, let's be honest, okay?
Of course, that's me.
This is about, you know, the tree of life, and building that structure and the family and the prosperity. So funnily enough, actually, Anna, I'm going to talk about this really quickly before we do like just a mini snap of a meditation. And it's to do with, I'm also involved with, it's a multitude of things, but I'm also involved with a trading company called Cash FX, okay? Now, to be honest, it's not live in America, but anywhere else it is. And it is to do with, you buy, it's called a contract, a one-time off small payment. And what happens is $300 contract, it builds and it builds and it grows. If you just leave it, literally leave it there, and it builds and it grows to 100K within 4 years. So this is a way, this is actually perfect for anybody. For example, domestic violence, or just left the domestic violence situation. They have no money, or they might be in a situation where the partner, you know, owns all the money and what doesn't give them access to the money. Somebody else can, like a family member, can look after that account and let that grow. And it doesn't have to go into your bank account, because I know power and control is one of the issues where they know every aspect of the person's life. And over the time, it grows 5%, 6%, 5% a week interest, and it grows and grows and grows. And the company is changing lives. It is changing. It's 100,000 members, and it's giving people the chance for financial freedom with one-time payment, and they don't have to ever put any more money in. And for me, it's more about not the secrecy, but the privacy. If a person is in a relationship like that they can have that money, a family member can look after it and let it grow and grow and grow, and then they have that money to leave if they need to. So I'm connected with that company. I'm so blessed to be a part of it. I've seen significant results, so I'm happy to be part of that. And yeah, that's just what I want to share. It's funny that those are the cards that came up though, Anna. Kind of perfect.
Okay.
Oh, you're on mute. Sorry.
Sorry. So can you repeat just again the name of that? Is this Kasha, or how did you say?
CashFX, CASHFX. CashFX, it stands for Forex. It's trading on the Forex market by pro traders. They trade for you and you don't really have to do much. Somebody can look after your account. So yeah, it's a blessing.
Thank you. And about the cards, I need to admit it's my first time somebody read cards for me. So I've never had it in my life before. And it's just, well, all my life I live overthinking basically, and in my head, and a lot of negative self-talks. That's why I'm right now in the progress of changing it. So I can totally, yeah, it's just amazing how it relates. In my case, I don't know if you girls also can relate. And also right now, that's the time when I started the process of healing and cleaning the beliefs which doesn't serve me anymore, to recognize them and then work through spirituality and through the cognitive approach to shift them.
Yes.
So and that gives me more creativity, more space in my mind to have greater ideas right now. Like the documentary movie we are working right now became a fruit of the healing process, basically. I just allow the universe to fill me up with ideas instead of worries, right? And so, yeah, and I just have less anxiety than when I was back a few months ago, living all the time in my head, worrying and having those bad scenarios or nightmares. So yeah, so
Absolutely.
so thank you for doing that, and I hope that the whole group can benefit and transform their lives in such a beautiful way, and be shining and take their power back from the past. And yeah, would you like to add anything, girls, or we can go to the meditation? Or
Yeah, let's go to the meditation.
yay.
Super. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of music, and this will only take maybe, we'll just do a quick one, about 3 or 4 minutes, and you'll probably get a little bit of something at the end. So see that little bit I said about I take people on a journey to get a message for themselves? We can do that now. So ladies, Josie and Barbara, if you can pop yourselves on mute, I'm going to play the music, and if anybody obviously is listening back in the group, they can listen to this, listen to the end even just, and you'll get a wee bit of something for yourself. So if you're ready, willing, and able, and wish to, you can just get yourself comfortable. I'm going to pop on some music, just a little light background music. And I just invite you to take in a long, deep breath in through your nose, and hold that breath to the count of 4. And just gently exhale that breath, slowly and gently. So we're going to do that again. I just invite you to take in a long, deep breath in through your nose. Hold that to the count of 4. And just slowly exhale that breath. Feeling your body and your muscles begin to relax. And one last time, I want you to just take in a long, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for the count of 4. And just slowly exhale that breath. Just easing and relaxing any tension or worry or stress you've held from the day. And I just want you to imagine now there is beautiful golden liquid light, and that's flowing down from the top of your head, just moving down. This is beautiful, relaxing, golden liquid light. Just relaxing, moving down through your head, your face, moving down through your neck, your shoulders, feeling that liquid light, relaxing each muscle, releasing any tension, moving down your back and your chest, moving down the tops of your arms and down through your arms, all the way down to your fingertips, feeling that liquid light, relaxing, rejuvenating every cell in your body, moving down now through your pelvis, relaxing with each trickle down, moving down now to the tops of your thighs, moving down to your legs, your knees. Beautiful golden liquid light, rejuvenating each cell of your body, moving down through your legs to your feet and down to your very toes. And what I want you to do now is just imagine you're outside your front door. And what I want you to do is go up to your front door. Just imagine or pretend, it doesn't matter. And I want you to push open that door, and I want you to notice that you've walked into a beautiful, majestic forest. A beautiful, majestic, welcoming forest. You might smell moss, you might feel a breeze in your face, you might hear birds in the background or animals. And just make your way through this forest. And I want you to notice there's a path that becomes to come into view in front of you. I want you to get on that path, and this is the path that's going to lead you to find some answers for what you need to know, a message for you at this time. I want you to make your way along this path and find that you've come to a clearing. And in front of you now, you see a beautiful, large, majestic building. It may be a temple, it may be a church, but you see a beautiful building in front of you. I want you to walk up to that building now and stand outside the door. And what I want you to do is push that door open now and make your way into this majestic, beautiful, healing building. And you can look around and you can see all the beautiful furniture. There may be stained glass windows with all sorts of coloured light pouring in. Just whatever you notice is perfect for you. But know that this is a place of knowledge and wisdom and welcome and connecting to your soul. So just take a moment to look around, and what I want you to do is make your way to the back of this building and notice that there is a door. And I want you to stand outside this door now just for a moment. Behind this door, you're going to receive a message for yourself that's relevant at this time. Now, it may be a spirit guide, it may be a loved one past, it may be your higher self, it may be just words, it may be a thought, it may be a feeling. We're going to be very open as to what this is going to be, which all is going to be empowering and uplifting. This is the intention. So push that door open now and make your way into this beautiful room. And I'm just going to give you a moment to have your experience. Knowing that you're cared for in this space, you're empowered, you're loved. And just let whatever happens or whatever message, just let yourself receive that. Anything you need to hear. Don't judge the experience, just receive. What I want you to do now is thank whoever was there or whatever message you received. And I want you to make your way back out to this building, into the main part of the building. And what I want to let you know is you can come back here anytime you need and you want. This is a healing, sacred space for you. I want you to come to the front of the building. I want you to push your way out the door and make your way back onto this path. Make your way through the path. And what I want you to notice now, you'll notice an animal, one animal. It may be a bird, it may be an insect, it may be a land animal, it may be a fish of some kind. I want you to become aware of one animal and just keep that in your mind because it'll have a message for you later. And I want you to just make your way back on this path, make your way, and you'll make your way to the door. It's your front door. I want you to come back through that door and you're now back in present awareness. Just give yourself a moment to wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingertips, taking a long deep breath in through your nose and just exhale out through your mouth and just begin to open your eyes at your own pace, slowly and gently. So that's us just coming back to present awareness. And each and every person, whatever experience they had will be personal to them. And just know that you're loved, you're guided, you're supported, and that experience is for you, and that you can connect in back to that, to your soul, to your divine connection anytime you wish.
Anna, what animals did you see?
Exactly. Get your spirit animal, look it up. Anna, my friend.
I see a rabbit.
Interesting. Look it up. That's all you need to do now, people. Look up, say rabbit spirit animal. It'll have a message for you. It's cool.
Oh, oh my God. So when I entered the room though, when you said push the door, and then there's a long table, and then there's a guy sitting in the end of the table. Oh, so
Interesting.
cool.
Interesting. So you can
Anna,
get a
you
message.
unmute.
Yeah.
Anna, unmute yourself.
I think the internet's a slightly choppy too as well though. But well,
There
you
you
are.
go.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I opened the doors, the light, and I just was, it's so hard so to go out of this because it was overwhelming and all the like I didn't see anybody. I just saw light coming on me from, yeah, and I saw Coliber before the doors. So that's what I saw. Well, every is so individual, and that's why I'm so amazed. Yeah, how different thing we experience in regards of our needs, right, and desires from our heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
So Barbara, did you see, what did you see behind the doors?
I
Oh,
don't know. Well, I've seen
hello.
the room, which was actually, there was a lot of furniture, and the furniture was pink, and there was something, a voice saying something to me, and I'm just like, what, really? I don't want to even say.
Okay, you know,
But it was criticism. It was a criticism of me, so I was just like, okay. And then when I get out, I've seen a wolf.
a wolf.
Mm.
Beautiful.
Mm.
You can look that up and it'll have a message: wolf, spirit animal, rabbit, spirit animal, spirit messenger, and there'll be really cool things to find out about that.
Mm.
Where I'm gonna look up, Ashley, like where I'm go to, is there any website?
Just Google. Just literally
Okay.
Google rabbit spirit animal or rabbit spirit messenger, and there'll be loads of stuff that comes up. Mine personally, when I first ever did this exercise, I always thought mine would have been like a deer. I thought, oh, a deer, that's kind of my personality. And I was really surprised to find a black panther. I was a bit like, whoa, what are you doing here? You know. But when I looked it up, the qualities and what it meant really made sense. So that's always something you can look up. But here, I know, Josie, one of the things about rabbits is definitely about money and luck and prosperity, for sure. So look that up. Mhm.
It's coming, Anna, it's coming. But okay, so why in the world? So when you said like go in the forest, so I was in the forest and I feel cold. I feel cold. So and then you said go to the path, like there's a building and I see a castle, and then it's very like surreal again. Like so before you said open the door, I already entering the door. And then I already see the stairs, and I went to the stairs, and you know the stairs that is like around it. And then I was like stop in there, and I just like look at it, like I'm just like kind of like enjoying it. And it's like, and then when you said push the door, then when I pushed the door, and then I saw this red table, like a long red table, and then the guy that at the end, I know him. Like I know him, and we never say anything. He just like stare. We just like stare each other, and then later on he just we walk, and it's like in the middle of the table, like we meet, and then we just give hug to each other and not say anything. And but in my mind, I was like, it's like he's saying like you are worth it. You are special.
Oh, beautiful. Because you felt that.
So
Words
and
not
I
spoken, felt that. Yeah.
and then he looked up in my eyes, and he just like, like you are everything. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to open my eyes.
You
Yeah.
see, that's what a hypnotherapy session is like. Now, that wasn't hypnotherapy, but you're very aware of what's going on at all times. Do you know what I mean? It's not like
Mhm.
so it doesn't work like that. And if you had all of that experience, you'll see that indicates to me that your inner senses are very strong. If you're able to get all
Yeah, that's what I can feel. That's why remember I said like I don't want this feeling, but I'm really have the strong like connection with my like in my surroundings. It's kind of like scary actually, but I'm just gonna enjoy that, I guess, right now. Now
enjoy
that
it.
I know, yeah.
It can be a very positive thing. It can be a positive thing. And what I would say, Barbara, I wouldn't be put off by anything that sort of came up or what came around. It's for me, sometimes you hear things and go away, write it down, have a think about it. Obviously, you don't need to share anything, keep your privacy, but it can just maybe highlight stuff. Think about it. Is this me? Is it not me? it could be a contrast. So I wouldn't judge don't be judging yourself or anything that you heard. But what the good thing about this is when you connect into this different level of awareness is you'll begin to find that synchronicity as you move forward becomes a lot stronger. So life begins to flow, things work out, you know, things aren't so stuck and stale and sticky. When you begin to connect to that, life becomes more in the flow state. That's the only way I can put it.
Okay. Yes.
Right. I love it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Never ever judge your experience because of you have just sometimes after a few months you really get a more understanding and you had the aha, you know, like so yeah, I kind of so tried and it just was telling me inside you are loved are enough and well things really feel so I was feeling this is such a good feeling. So I had the same feeling joy that I had trouble to go out of that room. I was like, I just want to stay where I can feel you know, enough. And I then realized that I can go there any time I want to come back, right? So it was the feeling that I can use in any stressful situation I'm in life. Something just close my eyes and open those doors and receive the protection from the universe.
Yep, you can call it, it's what you would call like your sacred space, your safe space. When a stressful day or things are getting on top of you, you can just go, that only take a few minutes. Go and sit down and take yourself through that journey and connect in and set the intention for like healing power for, you know, your mental, physical, whatever, emotional, whatever's going on, and you will get the help and guidance there. And I think that was a beautiful experience, Anna, just about the pure light, the pure white light. And some people say, I just got a really good feeling, or I just felt healed, or I felt better. Everybody's experience is unique to them, and you know, every time you do it, it's different every time. So it's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. Now I'm inspired.
So Ashley,
Good. That's the intention.
yeah, that's a big. That's yeah. I feel joy will be great to more the same, Barbara. So I would. I'm also grateful for all of the comments from Sue, from Sin on the Facebook group, from also from Sandra Lee. Thank you for your question, Sandra. It's the best on YouTube, and thank you for being live, Facebook Live with us. Before we finish, how people can connect with you, Ashley? How can we find you?
I'd say the best way, oh gee, let me try and remember what you call this website that I've got. Ashley Teer Spiritual Medium Hypnotherapy, or it might be clinical hypnotherapy, but you'll find me on there, you know, Facebook, Ashley Teer Psychic Medium, Ashley Teer Hypnotherapy. I also have a YouTube channel called The Sovereign Spirit. I have one called The Sovereign Journey. I have my website, and I do a lot of videos, inspirational speaking and life advice and personal development stuff that I put on the YouTube, The Sovereign Spirit. I have to remember so many things. So that one's really good. There's lots of good advice on there if you want to go on and subscribe. So, because you might find something that you need. You know, it talks about the negative things, the inner talk, the inner critique, the saboteur, and a lot of philosophical stuff as well. So any of those, and just know that as well, you have the power to empower yourself and work on yourself and take back control and be inspired. So that's just what I would leave you with.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. We are right now 1 hour 30 minutes over. It's amazing. I just didn't feel even the time running. So I just feel like it was 40 minutes or half hour. Thank you, girls, Joy, Barbara, for joining everybody Facebook Live. Let's stay in touch, connect, follow Ashley on social media, subscribe. And if you make any question, then go and connect on private message, I guess. Then yeah, thank you everybody, and have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ana.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Ashley. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you, Barbara.
Lovely meeting you.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.